So what happened was I sat down and Clapham Junction, only going back, I think, 2 or 3 stops. I sat down and there was this man, they were Eastern European, a man and woman sitting, so you remember there's 4 seats sitting there, and she made a big deal and I sat down. She was like, oh, you're sitting next to me. And I was confused. I was like...
Bespoke Minds Podcast, a place where we actively discuss mental health, self-care and healing, share stories to enhance our insight in an interactive way. Hello and welcome to Bespoke Minds Podcast. I'm your host, Cornelia CK, and in today's episode, we have a very special guest. We have the one and only TEDx talker, CEO, social worker, therapist, mother and wife, Miss Ngozi Cadmus.
You spoke mother because I ain't got the baby yet, but it's coming. Amen. I claim that.
It's coming. Oh no, it's such a blessing for you to be here, honestly. Like with this episode, it's only right that I get the person who's been behind me, supporting me.
It's an amazing full circle moment, and I'm just privileged to see what comes from this conversation.
So yay! Let's start with the game, which is called Break the Ice.
What do we win?
This game has no reward, no prizes.
Like
so maybe I will invite you to another segment where we've got a reward. I'm going to ask you 2 opposite questions. And then you state your preference and tell me why. Okay. Mm-hmm. So, do you prefer summer or winter?
Oh, winter.
Winter? Oh, really?
Ain't got to leave my house.
When's your birthday?
March. So it's
winter. Spring. Okay. Yeah, no, I'm summer. I'm June. Summer, baby. I love the sunshine. Why do you like winter?
If it's summer, I've got to leave the house. Winter.
True.
Can chill in that
True. But what about the cold? Do you like the cold?
No, I don't like the cold. I just like the idea that I can wear jackets. You know what I mean? Like you can go out of the house and wear like you can be looking mad. Go out of the house, But in summer, you can't wear a jacket. You actually got to dress up just to go to Sainsbury's.
Yeah, that's true.
I got to look decent just to go to round the corner.
Yeah. What about the rain?
I don't like the elements of winter. I like the idea of like you ain't got to leave the house. Yeah. When you go out of the house, you can wear a jacket. You don't even know what I could be wearing pajamas, do some shopping and come back home. But in the summer, you got to dress decently.
Yeah, that's true.
You got to have your armpit shaved all the time. You got to have your legs shaved all the time.
Honestly, like with me as well, when I'm doing the school run, sometimes I look crazy. I'm looking crazy. I'm like, Cornelia, you need to get it together. You can't be looking crazy like this. So,
you never know where you meet your bubba. That's the truth. You never know.
Healthy or unhealthy stuff? In terms of what are you more inclined and into?
Ideally healthy. Reality, sometimes unhealthy.
Yeah.
But you were talking about food, right?
Food, yeah. We can talk about food.
I think I'm middle. So I don't think I'm fully I wouldn't say I'm 100% healthy. I wouldn't say I'm 100% unhealthy. I think I'm back in the middle. So I'm trying to lean towards healthy. Yeah.
Do you find that maybe during your early childhood or during your earlier years, you was eating more unhealthy food and now perhaps you're eating healthier?
Funnily enough, I would say that we ate. Obviously, particularly in Nigeria, we don't always eat veg. So that's probably the most that we say we not. But overall, I rarely ate out. Mum always cooked food. Typical, like, eat out for what?
Yeah.
What are you eating out for? I never ate sweets. I wasn't allowed to eat sweets much. So that's partly why I do eat sweets, but I'm not a sweet person. You know, I never ate chocolates. It's when I started to get money for secondary school. That £3 a day used to go quick.
No, it goes quick.
I used to buy chocolates because I wasn't able to eat that growing up. So that was my time. Secondary school, I enjoyed chocolates.
Did you do the whole chicken and chips thing as well?
Yes, so that $1.99 chicken and chips, bruv, with the full hot wings and the chips. It's them days, boy.
Yeah, those are the days.
Dixie days. If you're from East London, North London, Dixie and Sam's.
Dixie. Oh, Sam's, the 2 for 2. Oh, I missed that. And their wings were, at one point, it was better than KFC's.
Bruv. For all you South Londoners like Morley's, try our Dixies and Sam's, That's what you're talking about. Morley's is overrated.
Yeah, no. And it's pricey now as well.
Well, I don't know. When I last was in Dalston, it was still $1.99. But
no, Morley's. When I went to South the other day and I drove past, I was like,
Morley's chicken wings is a bit dead, bro. I ain't gonna lie. Their chips are decent.
Yeah.
But their chicken wings is a bit dead.
I think it's just the name, isn't it?
The South London things. Because I went to college in South, they were like, Morley's. And I tried Morley's and I was like, I beg you, come to North London. Try up at Sam's and Dixie's. And obviously originally KFC though.
Yeah, definitely. That's our budget thing. Do you prefer to run or walk?
Neither.
What do you do more? You drive?
I don't drive anymore. I drive in my head.
You drive in your head?
Well, I used to. It's funny enough saying that. I used to sprint. So I was, PE was not my favorite subject in school.
Oh, cool.
When I got to adults, I realized life. I started to get used to the sedentary life. I used to drive.
Okay.
But yeah, no, I would say that neither. I don't using legs. I just found it a really weird function.
Work is a chore.
Yeah, I don't know why. I wish I can just do this. I'm at home. Like, I feel like I've got to literally move my body. It's just like.
So would you ever find yourself going back to sprinting, or you just don't have an interest at all?
The only time I sprint for the bus. And when you see me sprint for the bus, I'm not sprinting. I'm slow, mate. I'd be like this. Oh my god. But no, I don't enjoy riding anymore. Those days are gone, long gone. But there was a time, I was really fast, bro. I was like, I used to play. I would say I play for Camden, but where I went to school in Camden, we actually used to do all the girls' schools together. So I was there fast. I was quite fast, but yeah, that talent is long gone.
So did you have to have a disciplined diet at the time, or you just ate whatever you wanted?
See, this is the issue about this thing, right? Me and my friend were talking about it. So I was a sprinter, 100, 200 in relays. I was always the last person in the relay. One time in year 10, we did this like massive sports day, all of the girls' schools in Camden. And we've never learned marathon running. Don't ask me why I was put down in the 1500 run. Oh, wow. And guess what I did when they said get set go? I ran fast. And me and my friend running fast. And I was wondering, why is everyone running slow? I was like, we're winning. By the time we got to the 400 mark, we dropped on the floor. Everybody just literally...
Wow, like crawling.
Yeah, we gave up. Literally, yeah. I had to I thought I was dying. I could not breathe.
I can imagine.
I was like, to our teacher, I don't understand. How can you put us down?
Because there's no prior training as well. That's quite dangerous.
I never knew that you run slowly. I genuinely was laughing. We were going fast. We were like, why are they running slow? I thought it was weird. Why are you running slow? I understood why you're running slow. We couldn't even make it.
They were pacing themselves.
We just about got to the 400 mark. Try running the 400 mark at full speed, 400. It took about half an hour for my lungs to stop burning.
I can imagine. Did they even provide water? Hopefully.
I don't even know. I didn't know I was dying. Everybody was laughing, we were dying. And then we were literally, we had to fling ourselves across the thing because they ran round and they saw us. We were in the same... we were in the same position because I was finished. I was gone.
No, that's understandably.
So that would be. So I think that was the end of my my short year 70, year 10 running career. That finished me. Yeah, I haven't run since then.
Yeah, no, that's interesting. I'm more of a walker. I like walking now. I like driving. It's easy to get from A to B, but I like walking.
Do you do walks daily? Like you just daily walk?
If I have to. Not part of my routine, but if I need to walk, I'll walk. So like even when I go to work, for instance, because I don't drive to work, I use public transport. So I can walk from A to B, so I'll walk to different places. Yeah.
And then, but when you feel good, like what happens when you walk?
I've been walking for so long, I'm so used to it. And it's just therapy. Put the music in. If I'm listening to a sermon, listening to music, praise and worship, or just going from A to B. Sometimes there's traffic on the bus, or I'm not having to deal with people congestion.
I'm a watcher walker. So if I do walk here, I'm watching people's houses. I'm like, Some people say they sit there, listen to music. I can't concentrate. I'll be like, just paying attention to all of these things. Yeah, I'll be like doing that.
No, I think it's good to be cautious of your environment as well. I am as well too, but yeah, that's what I do. I think initially I just got into the habit of just been doing it. And now I just do it without realizing.
Walking thing. I know.
So yeah, no, look into it. Oh, cool. So we're going to move on to another segment, which is called Moments of Truth.
Moments of Truth.
Have you ever? So the first question is, have you ever used anybody for money?
Oh, them things over them. Oh, no. And those deep ways. No, but not in general. No, money. No.
Because, it struck me as being very independent, self-sufficient anyways.
Yeah, no, I haven't used anyone for money. For food, yeah, but not money.
For food. Oh, that's interesting. Have you ever been mugged?
Oh my gosh, yes, I got mugged in October. When you say mugged, it depends what you mean. I got pickpocketed in October on a train.
On the train, yeah.
Yeah. So what happened was I sat down on Clapham Junction, only going back, I think, 2 or 3 stops. I sat down and there was this man, they were Eastern European, a man and woman sitting, so you remember there's 4 seats sitting there, and she made a big deal and I sat down. She was like, oh, you're sitting next to me. And I was confused. I was like, one, I'm small, so I didn't sit it. But I thought, oh, I'm so sorry. She used that as a distraction. Because in her doing that, she picked up my phone. So when I, just before I got off, I was like, where's my phone? When I got off the train, I was like, I think she's taking my phone. I knew it instantly after I realised my phone was gone. Because my phone was right in my pocket. And all of that, because I was like, something in that was weird because there was another guy opposite me. He was staring at me and her. But it's like, wait a minute, if you saw it, why didn't you tell me then? Why didn't you see? Because he was looking at me and her, and I was thinking, why is he looking at me and her? But he knew something was going on. He didn't want to say.
No, that's bad mind. Because he probably, I thought maybe he knew that.
No, the guy that was there was obviously a trick because them two were talking, right? And they were speaking their whatever language it was from Eastern Europe. But then she spoke to me in a proper English accent. She was like, I was like, so the whole thing just distracted me from her speaking that language. Because literally I thought, oh, right, she just flipped from English to whatever language she was. This guy was staring at me. I was reading my book, so I was reading my book.
Okay.
But in that moment of, oh my God, that's how she took my phone.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's annoying. Did you have the means to get home, or was you kind of stressed?
I got 2 phones. So no, I was going to a talk actually.
Okay.
I had a tunnel vision my talk, do my talk, and then when I came from my talk, I sorted all of it out, bought a new phone, all that stuff.
Okay. Well, you're so lucky. With me, wasn't so much pickpocketing or being mugged. It happened in Finsbury Park. So I was with my daughter. I was going to the shop, and then the phone fell out of my pocket. I went back within seconds, and there was like a group of men. I think they were like Eastern European as well. Some on a motorbike and stuff. And by the time I went back, literally seconds, it was gone. So luckily, well, unfortunately, I had my bank cards and everything at the back of my phone. I fortunately had my car keys, but I wasn't able to. I had to wait another half an hour to go home and then to call the bank. And then when I called them, they said, oh, yes, somebody tried to use your bank card in Sainsbury's, which was across the road. And because I was with my daughter, she was so distressed. She started crying. I said, okay, it's all right. But yeah, I was livid at the time because as I was walking there clearly, but you know, in a situation like that, I didn't know who, because I was about maybe 8 men at the time, but I thought, I'm just going to leave it and let it go. Yeah.
That's a very dangerous. It could have been.
Oh, 100%. Yeah. So I just left that. But every time I'm around, I'm just like, oh, here we go. So quite cautious now. I think if I wasn't driving, I would have maybe had my headphones. And funny enough, I had my AirPods in my ears, but because I wasn't listening to anything, I didn't realize that it went until I got to the shop. When I reached my destination, I was trying to buy something and pay with my card, and I couldn't find it. Yeah. So that's when I realized, okay.
Yeah. Now I put my phone in my bag, boy.
Yeah. No, definitely. Definitely. And the last question in this segment is, have you ever experienced suicidal ideations?
Yeah, I have, definitely. Being depressed I was very depressed for a very, very long time. So thoughts of wanting to not be here was always present. It was kind of like it was a weird soothing. It was a soothing mechanism because it made you feel like, well, if you ever got to a point, I could just end it all. You know, so it was one of those type of things, and I never made any massive attempts. And interestingly enough, at the peak of some of my moments, I think God just made sure I didn't know. I didn't know you could take paracetamol. Certain things I didn't know. I should have known, but didn't know. If I did know, I would have taken it, because I was very gruesome. So I used to, and there's trigger warning, I used to want to stab myself. That was my method. That was my method of choice, to stab myself. But I think I couldn't get through the pain that I would have to go through to do it. I didn't know about paracetamol. If I'd known about paracetamol, I would have taken it. But when I was trying to kill myself with the knife, it was that kind of like, oh, it's actually hurting me. Let me not do it. So if I'd known that I could have just taken all the tablets in the house, that would have. And because of the way I am, I would have probably completed it. Because that seemed like a painless method to go. Yeah.
So would you say, even by saying that, it's the grace of God that kept you from...
Yeah, lack of knowledge. Rightly so, lack of knowledge. Because I didn't know about that. It's only when I got older. I didn't even think about that. I didn't think about all of those type of stuff. I thought of the most gruesome methods. And that was what put me off. It wasn't that I didn't want to die. It was that, right, I've got to feel the pain before I die. If I knew there was a painless method, that would have been, I would not be here.
And what's so interesting as well, would you say, even by saying that, it's the grace of God kept you from...
Yeah, lack of knowledge. Rightly so, lack of knowledge. Because I didn't know about that. It's only when I got older I was like, I thought of the most gruesome methods. And that was what put me off. It wasn't that I didn't want to die. It was that, right, I've got to feel the pain before I die. If I knew there was a painless method, that would have been, I would not be here.
And what's so interesting as well is that there's a lot of people who actually go and research in terms of methods.
I wasn't using internet like that.
Yeah. No, things have changed so much.
Yeah.
I
wasn't using internet like that. So it was like, I didn't know what to do other than like when you might watch a show on TV. And maybe because I watched a lot of horror movies, I watched certain shows, it was always more gruesome methods like hanging. There were other methods that were used. I was using those methods. But I didn't watch anyone, unfortunately. I did not watch a method. Thankfully, it's really good and important what people watch, right? If I'd watched a show with a person taking drugs, I might have used that. I didn't see that. So I only saw like the stabbing, the hanging, the noosing. So those were always my areas of choice. I didn't want to noose because I just thought I didn't want to be found like that.
Thank you for sharing that. What I found as well is the reason what I've just relayed in terms of some of the clients that I work with, when they don't have an active plan, would use different outlets, and sometimes they build communities, and that comes as part of the safeguarding and some of the work that I do with them. It's only when they disclose that to me, then I would know. Otherwise, I'll have no idea. But now with social media, it's so accessible. There's so much vast, and people are so creative with it as well, which is really, really dangerous.
You've got to be really careful what kids watch, because when I sit there and think about the things I was exposed to, it was God's grace that stopped me. If I found a community, I would have been in that community. So just pure ignorance was what prevented me from doing certain stuff.
And from what you've described, so it seems like you've battled with your mental health during your early childhood to adulthood. And I'm adult now, right? So to maybe only a couple of years ago, What was your coping mechanism?
When I was younger, self-harm.
Okay.
Self-harm was the technique. I stopped that because in a good way, a lot of my peers found out, my mum found out, so they would watch. For God's grace, I didn't go into drugs. I didn't go. So even this, for example, I wanted to smoke weed when I was younger. I was like, people around me were smoking weed. I can't explain it to you. The day that I wanted to smoke weed, I was like so excited, so happy. I was like, finally, my friend was smoking. She said, no. I said, why? I said, no, you shouldn't do it. I can't remember exactly, but it was obviously supernatural. She was just like, don't do it. But she was smoking, she was blowing it. And I was like, let me smoke it. And she just refused to me to speak it. But bearing in mind, it's not her weed. So we were all trying to sell the weed, but she refused for me to smoke it. Again, who would know what happened that day if I smoked the weed? See what I mean? So there's certain little things like that. So I didn't have any obvious maladaptive methods. I just hated myself, just cried to sleep. I wouldn't, maybe eat a lot. Because I'm slim, you wouldn't see it. So partly my size and the way my personality is, you wouldn't see how I would cope. But no, I didn't do drugs. I didn't do all of those type of stuff. It was mainly just feeling sad, constantly thinking about, suicide and stuff like that. So I really think about it. I was quite fortunate that I didn't do a lot of things. I don't know. My personality would be that I'd go in. Because I go in. So the Lord knows that if I did drugs, I'd go in on drugs. If I did anything, I'd have gone in on it. I didn't make my back completed. I don't just do half-hearted. So I think God knew that. If I got in any of these maladaptive methods, I probably wouldn't be here again, because I would have gone hard. Me, it'd be like, because I'm competitive as well, but like, take drugs, let's take the hardest drugs. So we thank God, because I sit there, I think, wow.
Yeah.
And the recovery rate now, because obviously we come from the similar background professionally, it's not even worth it. Just the people that I've seen that just dibbled and then they got him and they come back and take years to recover back. The time that's been come back and take years to recover back. The time that's been wasted. Yeah. When I think about the clients I work with, I could have been there. That's partly why I have so much empathy for my people. I don't work with clients directly anymore in that way, but when I used to work with clients a lot in that way as a social worker, was because I think inherently I knew that I could be them. Even though I wasn't like, I did drugs, and I think something in me knew that I was always one decision away from being like that, and I think it was literally God's grace.
I have first-hand lived experience as well, which many service users and clients can, draw and feel motivated and empowered by that. We know social work is quite a difficult field as well, especially mental health social work. So did you ever feel like triggered? Or?
No. The only time I was ever triggered, and it wasn't triggered because of my trauma. As you know, I'm an approved mental health professional. For those that don't know, it just means that I'm the key decision maker that detains somebody under the Mental Health Act. We call that sectioning for shorthand in the UK. In America, they call it committed, and elsewhere in the world. I nearly detained a family friend.
Oh, really?
We grew up together. We lost contact, went to traumatic experience. I think that was actually what set up for all her stuff.
Mhm.
So before I went out to do the assessment, I was speaking to the mother. The mother had the same name. She was from Igbo, some Nigerian Igbo tribe. So I already felt like connected. But I don't know how it is for everybody else, but when I meet Black people, I really feel connected. When I meet somebody from Nigeria, I feel connected. When I meet someone from my tribe, because it's like when Nigerians were quite tribal, but it's because it's like we are distant family members, you know. So and because it's a small world, somebody will know somebody that knows somebody. If I meet you, one of my uncles will know you. So when I was speaking to the mother, not knowing it was my auntie, and why we disconnected was just because that happened. They went to Nigeria.
Something simple.
One of the main reasons why I went to that school was because of her. So and obviously I haven't spoken to her since then. We weren't able to reconnect as a family. Tried to, but wasn't able to. But so I wouldn't say I've been triggered by things in that sense. I'm wired in a very different way. So fortunately, I don't get triggered easily in that way, but by the job. But that was a very triggering experience. But that experience, although that was because it was a personal friend, that's how I feel whenever I especially detain people that look like us. Because that could be my brother, that could be my sister, that could be my mother. I've detained mothers, I've detained people that could be a sibling, I could detain. How I feel whenever I especially detain people that look like us. Because that could be my brother, that could be my sister, that could be my mother. I've detained mothers, I've detained people that could be a sibling, I could detain people that could be a cousin, I've detained daddies, I've detained people that I'll be like, I'll see you in church, I'll see you in a party. That hurts me. That was a vivid example of actually because I knew her, but that example is really what I feel whenever I'm detaining someone that looks like me. I sit there and think, oh my God, what could have occurred to stop that from happening?
100%. I was due to do my AMP training as well in 2020, and then COVID happened, and then it was like a full circle moment, and then I just decided that I was going to take a different path. But from 2011, that's something that I've been working towards for a very long time, and like, I think representation is so important. And that was one of the things, I think initially when I wanted to be an AMP, it was to support our brothers and sisters and other people in the community that look like us. Because we know that a lot of the time in services, there's a lot of inequalities and misdiagnoses and injustices that take place. But as I got closer, even prior to COVID, I made my application because for me, it got to the stage where I was even enrolling to go into university for it to happen. And then COVID happened. I had to do my learning online and I thought, I can't do this online. Now I recognize God was taking me in a different direction. But I just started to feel like the passion to become an AMP, I started to lose that interest because I started to see it more oppressive rather than empowering. And I always like empowerment. I'm for empowerment.
Yes, okay, great, yes.
But what I love about you is even from your story and your history and your humble beginnings to you being an AMP, and also from the adventures that we're going to go into a bit later, is you're so selfless.
Oh, bless you.
You're so selfless and like you're very passionate and you hold people within your heart. You're just so encouraging and so courageous, and you're for people and you've got a lovely heart and you've got a good heart as well.
Oh, thank you.
So I just really wanted to put that there as well, just to give you your flowers because you deserve all your flowers, even from sharing the beginnings and some of the things that you've been through in the sense of when you actively self-harm and you felt suicidal and you had a plan. Though you didn't have an intent, you had the plan as well. So it's just amazing. It's just really amazing. Like, what got you into social work and how did you continue to feel that fire and to become passionate about helping people?
So God got me into social work because my initial desire was I was going to be a historian, guys. I love history. It's actually my first love. So I was doing ancient history at Reading University. So that's it's actually one of the most, I'm no longer annoyed by it, but like maybe even 5 years ago, it used to annoy me that I got a degree that I didn't finish because I'm a finisher. So to have something that I didn't finish, and they always mention it because it's such an irritating thing on my what do you call it, my trajectory. But yeah, I was in history. I was in my first year. I was studying Latin, studying ancient history, and Greek civilization, Roman civilization. I think because of Jesus, I like that period. And then I felt the Lord pulling me to do social work. And because I didn't think I was smart enough, I didn't want to do it as a master, so I left the first degree. They're like, why don't you finish this and then do a master's. And I was like, me? No, I can't do master's. Let me just do degree.
You can't do masters, but what are you doing now?
No, do a doctorate. So, you know, and I was saying that in a talk at Oxford on Thursday. I was saying to some Oxford students that, you know, hold the plans loosely. Hold the plans loosely, because if you told me what I was doing now, I'd laugh at you, because, like, I was average in school. Like, I always like, that's what I call it. I say I'm called the average woman, because many of us are average. What makes us above average or you know, extraordinary is the Lord. Because I was average. I was going 4.44s. If everyone remember SATs, right? That's average. I wasn't getting 3.3, but I was 4.44. But I was sitting. I didn't know this, but in year 6, I recognized. It's only as an adult, but I recognized that I was sitting with the special needs group.
Okay.
Yeah, because I didn't understand that the colours of the grading in school was to do with abilities.
Okay.
I just thought it was different colours. Because I used to wonder why my best friend at the time was sitting at a different table with all my friends. I didn't get it. So that's just to show you where I was. I was in a world. I was here present, but I wasn't thinking in those ways. I didn't understand. I never took school that seriously. I remember. I'll never forget. I used to drink my Ribena because I was told they'll make me. I was told milkshake and my Ribena will make you smart. So I remember drinking that, thinking it would help me with my schoolwork. But yeah, when I look back here, because the people that was sitting next to you, there was a teaching assistant. No, I just thought she was someone's mum. Okay. It was a TA. Okay. And then there was a person who used to pick his nose, the person who used to read, like, the dictionary, the person who used to soil himself. That was the table I was on. Okay. What? And honestly, it was an adult that I went back and I was like, wait a minute, that table was a special needs table. So that's where they placed me for most of the classes. And then,
did you have the same support in secondary school then?
Well, no, but the thing is, I didn't have special needs.
Oh, okay.
So I was put in that table.
Why you there?
Because my ability was latent.
Okay.
So many of us, our abilities are latent. They're not discovered until later on. And I was, you know, a typical child that I wasn't able to concentrate in school. I didn't find it seriously, but I was highly intelligent. People also I'm intelligent, but it wasn't academic. Okay. So the way it came, I couldn't really spell properly. My handwriting was terrible. So even in secondary school, people don't actually know that. I was doing primary school handwriting in secondary school. I had to stay back after class to learn how to do writing.
Because in those days, writing was mandatory.
Yeah. I couldn't, I would write. My handwriting was bad. So I had to do that. But yeah, no, my abilities came. People say that. People that know me from when I was like 16 say that I came across smart to them. So for them, they saw it. But I think I recognized my ability from university. But I think I was on use. So in year 10, I was going to try my GCSEs. I was on use and everything. I left GCSEs with 2 A star A, Bs and 1 C. Wow. From you. So I redid all my year 10 in year 11 and year 11. That would I'd recommend do that again. It was ridiculously stressful. Very stressful. It was focus on school, because that basically doing 2 years in 1 year, not even in 1 year, in months was not great.
No, that's a credit to yourself for doing your PhD at the moment right now as well. And just knowing that when you was in year 6, you was put on the wrong table. You didn't enter that, and you didn't allow that to stop you.
Well, that's funny enough. Something about me knew, because I got a 30 out of 30 in the math test, right? And something in me said, I wanted to put myself then on the table. My best friends were on the high table, and the teacher kept putting me back onto the low table. So when I think about that, that showed me that there was something in me that I shouldn't be in this table. So 95% I was just there in the table. I wasn't bothered, because part of me that was like, I shouldn't be on this table. And even though I didn't do work most of the time in secondary school, I just studied for exam, because of that experience, I didn't want to, because I determined where I was in year 7. So in year 7 and year 8, I was put with people that was like, I should not be here. So everybody else, some of my friends were in like the higher classes. I was like, it took me till year 10 to get into the higher classes. So science and maths, I don't know, English I think were all the same, but science and maths, I finally got into the high classes. Well, I think there was always like the higher, but I got into I could do the A to C one. Some people did the B to, I did the, But in year 7 to 9, I was stuck because of primary school. I did not know that you get determined by your exams in
primary school.
Yeah, I didn't know this.
I feel like in the 90s, like the education's so much different. So much different. Like from my experience as well, in terms of primary school, secondary school education, it was just really basic for me. At university, I did I'm partially dyslexic. That's what they told me. But I didn't get the support that I needed.
Okay.
So I feel like there's been a little disservice. And I missed a lot of things in primary school that I had to then play catch up in secondary school. And then it has a domino effect from uni to college and everything like that. So, yeah, it's just, that's what I found out. And having a little one, my daughter, and even doing phonics and little things like that, I realized the quality and level of education is completely different in comparison to.
I'm sure she's not going to get tutors because I can't teach.
Yeah, no, I'm preparing.
I can't teach them like
My capacity is limited now, so I'm like, that's it. Mummy's done. Mummy's done. Yeah. So one of the hats that you also have is you're a therapist as well. So how did you transition into social work into therapy?
It must have been God too, because I always say to people, sometimes in life, right, and you don't want to be there, like when you grow in your walk with the Lord, you actually want to be more determined where you know the Lord's taking you there. At that point, I was doing something the Lord was shaping in that. That's why I say it's called, because I didn't sit there and think therapy is going to be my business is going to come out of that. I was interested in people's minds. And when I was young, I wanted to be a doctor, a typical thing. But I thought doctors were only surgeons. If I known doctors were psychiatrists, I probably would have gone down that route. Because no one told again, no one just didn't know. I just said no to doctor. I was interested in people's minds. So when I did social work towards my last year, I don't know how it happened. I was like, I want to know more about people. I started to look for psychotherapy courses. I found one that was on the weekends that I can still work full time. And I embarked on that. So on a very basic level, there was nothing special about it. It wasn't like something happened. Obviously, spiritually, now all that I do, it makes sense. And my mental health, all of that. But at that time, in 2014, my depression, I still didn't recognize it. I just thought it was normal. It was just how I am. Someone mentioned I was depressed, but I took it. I was like, okay. Like it was, okay, what do you do with that word?
So you didn't have any access to services or any additional support?
I've never done that. I took myself to therapy because at the time I had to do therapy because I was becoming a therapist. So that was my access to therapy. Main reasons that I didn't access services actually I wouldn't say racial in that sense. I would say I had a really nasty GP. He was a bully. He was a massive bully. He made me I've only gone over the GP trauma. So now that I've got a really good GP, I get shocked when they say, oh yeah, we'll do that for you. I say, sorry? Yeah. Because I used to ask him for things. He would tell me I'm wasting NHS's money.
Really?
Yeah. And then when I would see him, he was laughing and say, oh, you used to get bullied, didn't you?
That's unacceptable.
I'm telling you. So yeah, when I said I used to cry, one time I was crying. I brought my mum to sleep because I was so scared to talk to him. He said, "You shut up, you speak." So when I say to you, I was bullied by my GP. So there'd be no way I could sit there and think I will tell my GP I'm depressed. That was what I was experiencing. So yeah, I never got supported that way in that sense, just because of a really bad service. Let alone, I wouldn't say because he was Asian. So obviously we have like lots of anti-hate, anti-blackness in the Asian community. But I couldn't say, oh, it was because of that. Maybe he didn't like me because I was black. I don't know. But his attitude towards me was so nasty. And I think he's still there. My mum called him the other day because she saw he's at GP and she didn't like him either. So I think he's just not a nice person. His dad was lovely though. His dad was lovely.
So it's like a family practice.
It's a family practice. But him, I wouldn't call the GP for so long because that scarring of that and just my current GPs, they're also lovely. Yeah. So I can't believe it. I was actually crying the other day because I was calling for an issue. And I cried because she gave me time. She spoke to me for 20 minutes. I just could not believe it. I called my friend. I was like, my GP spoke to me for 20 minutes. I'm so used to telling people to get off the phone now. Why are you calling me? I didn't actually speak to her. I was like, yeah. She was like, yeah, I'll refer you. I was like, you will? She was like, I haven't got her. She's like, no, I can refer you. Oh, yeah. My GP was terrible. Thank God I had no major physical health issues because he would have killed me. Yeah. Because he was terrible.
You've just said that you've been able to recover now.
Yeah, I wouldn't call the GP for so long because that scarring of that and just my current GPs, they're also lovely. Yeah. I can't believe it. I was actually crying the other day because I was calling for an issue. And I cried because she gave me time. She spoke to me for 20 minutes. I just could not believe it. I called my friend. I was like, my GP spoke to me for 20 minutes. I'm so used to being told to get off the phone now. Why are you calling me? I can actually speak to her. I was like, yeah. She was like, yeah, I'll refer you. I was like, you will? She was like, I haven't got her. She's like, no, I'm going to refer you. Yeah. My GP was terrible. Thank God I had no major physical health issues because he would have killed me. Yeah. Because he is terrible. And he's still practicing.
I can't believe he's still practicing.
Well, I don't know if he's practicing at all because the surgery's named after him. No, it's actually not. Yeah, no, she did because my mum mentioned his name the other day. So I think he's still practicing. There were other GP surgeries there. So the moment I found out there were other people there, because one time when I called, I said, oh, what GP do you want? I said, huh? I said, I get a choice. I said, please, anybody else but the doctor.
But the doctor.
So since then, I never got to see him once I moved, until I moved. But I did not know that you could even choose your GP. I don't know. When he added people to the practice, that I was always seeing him. I always had to see him. So I haven't seen him for many years, and obviously I've moved now. But yeah, the GP, let alone. So imagine that, but imagine if he's racist. So some people are experiencing not that, they're experiencing pure racism or pure, that is just terrible because it stops you from getting the access to support.
Access to services. And again, this is why I'm quite big on representation, and it's really important. Like for me, whenever I want to come out of social work or leave as well, like for instance, it works that my last permanent job that I had, I was the last Black social worker that was left. And I realized one of my clients as well, because I was working in the psychosis service, and that was when George Floyd passed away. And it was just an automatic instant connection because he was able to connect with me. And he felt like he was just able to speak about his fears and having that race, you know, me being a Black woman, just understanding it immediately. So when I left, I think I left with a heavy heart as well because the representation wasn't there.
Forgiving yourself about your past. Have I forgiven myself? Yes. Art is vast in the sense that there's so many crevices, and sometimes you only know what you know. Right? Okay, I forgive that. When you worship God and you go into His presence, you're like, I still have that as an issue. Wow. So I would say yes, but there are always still revelations that come. Well, there's parts of my life that I don't remember. There's parts of my life that people don't remember. Those are areas that God will reveal to you when you're praying and thinking, okay, I need to forgive that. I've got to forgive myself. I forgot I did that. God has redeemed me. And I know overall, I think I'm great to people. But there's people that probably see me as a villain in their story, right? Whether for whatever reason. And there's people that maybe I have done nasty towards and I just maybe wasn't aware of it. So when there's moments come up when you're worshiping, God forgive me for that because you've brought into a memory of how I treat yourself. People treat us nastily, but do you treat people nice? You know, I don't think there's anyone that can say they've treated everybody perfectly the rest of their life. Some people we've treated not great, maybe for whatever reason, because we're going through stuff. So what I'm saying is that yes, overall, the big things in my life that I feel like I've done, but there's always small things that as I'm worshiping God, I will say, okay, God, forgive me. I didn't know though. Sorry. So yeah, God is the revealer of all things. So the Bible's a mirror. So the more you seek God, the more you press into God, so God will show you that part of your heart. You feel like that heart was clear. Go deal with that heart.
He would literally convict you.
I'm telling you.
Convict yourself, you know.
A few weeks ago, there was a person, particularly that I was like, that person done this to me, that person done that to me. And then the God was like, yeah, it's true. Like, I thought like God was agreeing with me. 2 years later, you did the exact same thing. It flabbergasted me. I said, so you said you did the exact same thing you're angry at him about. I said, God, we're meant to be on my side. You're meant to be on my side. What's going on here? I was in shock. And then 2 years later, yeah, you got to tell the person that you've been harboring this. I said, excuse me. So he started off with me thinking about that person. Then okay, yeah, I'm with you on that. 2 days later, yeah. So God is progressive, right? He doesn't fall at one time. He progressively reveals because he knew if he revealed the end right way. And he rebuked us. I said, devil, you're a liar. Yeah. What's going on? So he progressively revealed it over a week or 2 weeks of this person that I have an issue with, the behavior that I feel like she's done to me. I did the exact same thing because I feel like he's judging me from my past mistakes. But I did the same thing because I'm judging him by all of that is judging him by the past mistakes. He hasn't done it anymore, but I'm still thinking about it. I'm still ruminating on it because I'm doing the exact same thing. I said, and then I tell the person, you're taking the mic. Why can't I take it to myself in my head?
Did you manage to speak to the person?
Yeah.
And then you reconcile. Yeah. And then you've got peace.
100%.
That's the thing. You know, with God, he don't play. Like
100%.
You don't do it.
100%. So look, any of you that are like, God has revealed something to me, and like, you want to repent in your room? No. Go call up that person. If you can't find a person, tweet that person. Then you find a way to repent to that person. There is something in the power of confessing your sins to another. Repent. Don't try and do it in your head and in your house. God knows that. You've got WhatsApp. You've got Facebook. You've got a friend that knows that there is a way. Unless you can't get through to that person, definitely. But if there's a way that you can find out, reach out to them. Just reach and say, look, whether you see this or not, I just want to say
Yeah. And then you'll have like peace of mind as well. And that's just everything. That is everything.
Reconciliation is powerful.
So powerful. You've also done an amazing TEDx Talk.
Oh?
Yes. If you can tell us a bit about that as well.
Okay, my TEDx talk is technically about my research, and my research is looking at the organizational factors that enable or inhibit Black women are sorely underrepresented in all sectors in the United Kingdom. There is no Black CEO at the top of the FTSE 100, so that's the top businesses in the UK. There are no Black CEO or Black person in the C-suite positions. So Black women particularly are very rarely seen. And I'm very interested in how the few that have gotten to the top positions, how did they get up there? What strategy did they use, both internal or external? What did the organization do or didn't do to stop them or enable them from getting there? Of course, we know the barriers exist. So how do they circumvent the barriers? How do they get to the top irrespective of the barriers? That's what I'm interested in. So my research, my TEDx was essentially saying some of what I've seen so far about how we as Black women can get to top positions.
Yeah. And that's amazing. It's available, isn't it? We can check it out. We'll share the details and the links as well for you to go and check it out as well. See, everything's just, we keep talking about representation here. It's so important. And you are just an example of excellence.
Oh, wow, bless you.
Honestly, like, I'm sure the viewers from beginning to end are very amazed with everything that you've achieved as well. Yeah. And the fact that you give glory back to God as well,
because I couldn't do it without him. It's like, you know, She's like, I totally. When you hear people tell you about their past, they say it for a reason because they want you to know what you see. Because if you see me, you might go, "Wow, you've got to know where I come from." And then when you see where I come from, you go, "It has to be God." There is no humanly possible that a 10-year-old, 11-year-old getting 4x4 on a special needs table got a first in her BA degree, is in a doctorate. It's just not possible without God. It's not possible. That was doing primary school stuff, like year 4 thing in year 8, year 7. It's not possible. I had a tutor a lot of times. So to be fair, I had a tutor. Every exam I had a tutor because I was not academic. The reason why I might be academic now is that it's a game. I never knew it was a game. So the way you play the game, when you get that game, you play it well. And of course, the Holy Spirit.
It's only by the grace.
It's only by the grace.
What words of encouragement would you tell your younger self? If you were to look back.
Oh my God. That's so, You know what? Wow. I would tell my younger self that everything that the devil, the lies that you believe, that basically they were lies. Like I would tell myself they were lies. Everything that I got bullied about, everything that I got attacked when I was a child is everything that God is using me for. My mouth, my complexion, where I look, everything is what. So I would tell myself, don't believe that. Don't believe the lie that you're not good enough, that you're rubbish. Saying that, don't believe that lie. That's the lie. I swallowed that whole thing. When I say it, I swallowed the whole site sinker. That was the beginning of it. I was going to say the end because at the end of that Ngozi, thank God she's dead and gone, and the Holy Spirit revived the Ngozi you see today. But that Ngozi could have gone through a different life. Maybe not as traumatic. Maybe so traumatic. Who knows? But it would have gone through a different life if I didn't believe the lie. So I would have told the younger self that I would have wanted to see me and say, "This is who you're going to become. Keep going." I didn't have that. I'm actually in my story. You will never really ever hear me talking about a person because I never had that. When I listen to people, I'm like, people always have somebody. I know why I didn't have it now because I did it for a particular reason. That was also very hard. I never had anybody. There was no teacher said to me, "You're amazing." I never had that. I never had that. Someone see me and go, "There's something about you." Never had that. Never ever was pointed out or never really had that. So I went through a life a lot just not seeing what I would become.
Was it quite lonely?
Oh, 100%. 100%. I was alive at the party, but I was always lonely. 100%. 100%, yeah.
And are you currently enjoying your achievements at the moment?
Now, not during the time. So not like maybe 5-7 years ago. I was constantly going from one achievement to the next achievement to the next achievement. But now, I do enjoy it. I sometimes sit and think that, wow, a researcher, I did a master's. I got a deep BA degree in social work. I definitely appreciate my achievements, but I also just see them as like anything, not because in a bad way, in a kind of like Yeah, you shouldn't. I don't hold my accolades. Like, you know what I mean? Actually, people
Yeah.
like, I'm a TEDx speaker. I'm like, you know, I did it. Praise God. Like, I'm really proud
So
of
you're so
that.
humble with it. You are really humble with it. And that's
Take it away. He's like, bro, when you do what God gave it to you, you basically, yeah, I'm not going to be like a Nebuchadnezzar, like you boast in your achievements and you get some mad. That ain't going to be me, bruv. So, yeah, I think for me, it's because I can see God's hand in my. I can't really claim anything. There's nothing I did by myself. Maybe the most I could say I did myself by running. That, there was no supernatural. That was just me running. There was nothing really in my life that's significant that I can say that Ngozi Cadmus did only and solely. Everything was but God.
Mm-hmm. No, that's so powerful.
And because for example, my BA, my first year degree, my master, my BA degree, I still got a first, right? I wasn't doing well my first year. I was getting 2 right? It's not bad, so I'm not saying that's not doing well, but I mean, I was getting 2 I had 2 friends that basically had to school me and had to get better grades.
Okay.
So that's when I got a first. So if maybe I was always getting a first, maybe you could say, oh, I've worked hard to even get first. So maybe it's like, oh my God, you got a first. It's like, yeah, but I worked hard for it. I feel like I worked hard. For some people, there was another girl that got a first. She got like the biggest prize because she getting first. She's just very smart. So she just gets first. It's expected.
Yeah.
Whereas me, I was even like, when I got a first, let me be very honest with you, I had to look at it in 6 devices. I didn't believe it. I called my friend. I said to her, what's higher than a 1-1? She said, nothing. I said, no. I said, no, there must be. She said, no. I said it to her. She said, no, you got a first. I said, I don't believe it. Shocked. I was absolutely, that's what I said. I was shocked that I got first. I wasn't thinking, I was just happy to get a 2-1. I was thinking 2-1. Celebrate first. Yeah, we went to Blue's Kitchen and had a nice lobster.
Oh, nice. Well,
Do you know what I mean? Even though the food went quick, the lobster just ain't got a lot of meat in it, man. Expensive for no reason.
All prestige, just the name, isn't it?
You know what I mean?
Yeah. So what's next? What's next for me, Finger?
Next for me. Good question. What is next for moi? Let's see what the God does. I think what's next for me right now is just focused on Happiworkers. Happiworkers, just for those that don't know, is a culturally sensitive workplace mental health platform. So we provide mental health support to employees in the company, ensuring that Black and brown people get excellent mental health support the employees pay for. So what's next for me is focus on that, focus on what God's called me to do, really seeking God, pressing into God really, advancing God's kingdom, finishing my doctorate, and just, emancipating the lives of people, alleviating mental distress, and really giving glory to God. So that's hopefully a baby in the college. Not now, but
Very soon. Wanted to do our Care to Share segment.
Okay.
Which is a Did You Know? Did you know that engaging in a self-care routine has been clinically proven to reduce anxiety and depression and reduce stress and increase happiness? Do you practice self-care? Do you agree with that statement?
Oh, yes. Well, yeah, self-care is different than people, to everyone. As you know, self-care coach, self-care guru. I read this my self-care. I'm not food is my self-care.
So what tips would you give to somebody to help improve their mental health and well-being?
I'm not a fan of tips,
Oh, are you not?
No, I just feel like they you can give a line like, take a little bath, but there's so much more to that. So I don't know, maybe because of the way I think, like someone says something, I'm like, okay, so can you give me more? So I think that. But I know some people like those tips and they go away. I would say that one of the key things is to help you with your mental well-being is you need to take stock of where you're at, right? Take stock of where you're at. It's really important. The biggest thing that kills this world is lack of self-awareness. People are not aware of what they're doing. Behaving anyhow. They're not conscious fully of the impact of their behavior on themselves and on others. I think the first thing is to stop, take pause, and reflect. Take stock of where you are. If you're not happy with where you are, you've got to make some changes in your life. You're responsible for your own mental health. You might not. The things that were done onto you were not your fault, but you're responsible to heal. You're responsible to heal. Because if you don't do that, the next generation's finished.
That's it.
The next generation is finished. So that would be my advice. Take stock of where you're at. Stop. Just take a pause. Ask questions to people. If you ain't got anyone, there probably is an issue. You probably are the issue. If you ain't got any friends around you, you ain't got anyone. So let's call it what it is. So I'm very practical in this. I think, look, if you are not in some sort of personal development process, be it therapy, coaching, having a group, like having some place where people critically analyze your behavior because we've got blind spots, then you've got a massive issue and you're a walking red. They call it
red flag.
Red flag.
It's been an absolute pleasure having you here. Your inspiration to many. Personally, yeah, you are an inspiration to me as well. And hopefully the viewers, I'm sure that they've been able to take some goodies away and and feel inspired. Where can we find you? Where can we find you?
Ngozi Cadmus. NGOZICADMUS. Be on Google, you find me.
No, definitely. We'll share the links and the details and all your socials here as well.
Thank you kindly. Thank you.
Thank you. No, thank you so much for coming.
And well done. Well, I'm glad to be on Best Spokes Mind podcast. You better subscribe. You better download. Share a friend. What?
I couldn't have said it better myself. I hope you've enjoyed.
I know you've enjoyed.
Yes, I know you've enjoyed the one-to-one talk that we've had today. We're going to launch new episodes every Sundays. So please stay tuned, stay locked in, and join the Bespoke Minds community. See you soon. Have you ever wet the bed as an adult? No. No. Okay. You sure? What about even tip?
Doesn't get that far.
Doesn't
You
get
always
that
look
far.
at me when she says that as well. You sure?